Morning, ladies and gentlemen. A hearty welcome to all the distinguished guests and delegates, the scientific, administrative, technical, support fraternity, researchers, scholars, students, and everyone on board here at CSIR, Central Mechanical Engineering Research Institute, Durgapur. As you are all aware, CSIR-CMERI was established in February 1958 with the specific task of developing indigenous mechanical engineering technology for the industries so that R&D could play a key role in self-reliance in the strategic and the economic sector of the country. Keeping the tradition alive, CSIR-CMERI is facilitating innovations and inventions in establishing talents, Indian talents in the international field, especially where Indian products have to compete. CSIR-CMERI is poised to expand its research horizon so that to steer the country forward in cutting-edge technology. On behalf of the organizing committee of 66th Foundation Day celebration of CSIR-CMERI, I would take the proud privilege of welcoming you all to this august assembly. You see, for us, the CMERians, it's a unique opportunity to wish each other happy birthday simultaneously today. And what could be a happier coincidence than to have the highest authority of the council, the senior-most guardian of the family, to be here with us to celebrate. Dr. Nallathambi Kalaisalvi, Director General Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, Secretary, Department of Scientific and Industrial Research, is here with us today as the chief guest. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your gracious presence. With her, we have Dr. Suman Kumari Mishra, Director, CSIR, Central Glass and Ceramic Research Institute, Kolkata, as the guest of honor. For Dr. Mishra, it's like her own lab, her second home, for she was in charge of this lab for the past 11 months. Ma'am, your relentless effort is highly revered in CMERI. We are indeed proud to have here with us Dr. N.C. Murmu, the very own scientist of CMERI, as the newly appointed director. And it is under his able leadership, continuous patronage, and support that we are all here today rejoicing the event. Along with them, we have Dr. Vishwajit Rooj, Chief Scientist, Chairperson, Organizing Committee, 66th Foundation Day Celebration, CSIR-CMERI. May I request Dr. Rooj to kindly guide our esteemed guests and delegates up on the dais, please. We'll now receive our guests with floral reception, and to do the same, I would request Ms. Ruchika to present a floral bouquet to our chief guest, Dr. Kalaisalvi. Thank you. Ms. Aruna will present a floral bouquet to our guest of honor, Dr. Suman Kumari Mishra. May I request Ms. Ruchika again to present a floral bouquet to our beloved director, Dr. Nourish Chandra Murmu. Ms. Aruna will present a floral bouquet to our chairperson, organizing committee, Dr. Vishwajit Rooj. Thank you, girls. We will now formally inaugurate the session by lighting the ceremonial lamp. Please. Thank you all. May I now request our director, Dr. Naresh Chandra Murmu, to give the welcome address, as well as apprise our audience and the guests about the institutes and its contribution to the society. Sir, please.
Yeah, good morning to all, and respected Director General, Madam, Dr. Kalai Selvi, Dr. Suman Kumari Mishra, Director CSIR-CMERI. Then we have with Dr. Biswajit Roos. Let me first welcome our Director General to taking out some valuable time out of the busy schedules and agreed to come CMERI and grace these occasions. I am very thankful to our DG Madam for coming and gracing these occasions. And ladies and gentlemen, and my dear friends, and also the research scholars and others, staff of the CMERI. So let me start this presentation slide title to give the welcome address by giving the presentations briefly what CMERI is going to do. So probably we'll come back. So currently the CSIR-CMERI has group 4 or scientist staff is 11 and technical 4, group 3, technical staff is 75 both and support is 63. So this is the composition right now is 322. So basically strength. And now let us look at this achievement that we have been getting. So in terms of grant, the project value is something you can see that something to 60 to 70 crore is a budget, and with ECF is average 10 to 17. So this year we got 10, and we hope that we are going to have the better performance in coming days due to there is a lot of projects in pipeline. And in terms of publication, you can see typically we are getting the publication something like 100 to 113, 100 in this range. But if you look at this profile, that we are generally increasing the impact factors. That is something is good and encouraging things that we are getting out of that. Now, in terms of IPRs is traditionally increasing because there is a lot of awareness has gone right now. This patent is one of the important things, and also we are understanding that the NDA sign and patent is one of the important components for technology development company, technology organization like CMERI. So now major focus is to increasing the number of international patents, specifically the patent, specifically the US patent. Now copyrights and design registration, we have significantly going good work, so we require a little more to do coming days, but it's a good one. Now we are coming to some important research that we are planning to have. Generally, the CSIR-CMERI has 4 pillars. One is the strategic and robotic intervention. Second is the agriculture, manufacturing and e-mobility, and technology for society and industrial service and skill development. So this is the 4 areas that CSIR-CMERI is mostly focusing, and that is the pillar of the strength, or you can say the pillar that CSIR-CMERI has. Now I already demonstrated to our DG Madam is that the mob control that we have developed based on this requirement given by PMO, and now we are in the process of already transferred some of this part of technology, and in the process of transferring to the 2 companies, and also like Ashok Leyland also in coming pictures. So this is one of the things, and we are shortly bringing that in the GEM so that the CRPFs and other requirement can be met from there. And beam stopper already we have discussed right now, so I am not going detail much on that. Now in terms of strategic sectors that we are doing the whole bunch of activities starting from this gear manufacturing domain to the mechanical domain, starting some of the activities in the area of mechanical design and simulations. So it is complex simulations also we are working, and also getting good number of ECF out of that. This is another activity that we are doing for the import substitution strategic and industrial applications are that one is robotic intervention in boiler inspections, in underwater, in the area of mining, and also a different subterranean activity, like one of the major work that we are working is the unmanned ground vehicle, and which will be hoped to make some impact in coming years. And here specifically the technology which will be useful for the cobot. We are already discussing that cobotic research is one of the important areas that is very important area which have code technology, once you develop, that is going to help the Industry 5.0 in coming years. And another activities that we have discussing already demonstrated as well, that we are trying to see the drone-based activities, and these are the technology that we are working for, mostly for import substitution. Now we are coming to the unmanned ground vehicle. This is one of the first prototype. It's a medium proposed. Next we are thinking to go for the bigger size called Crusher, which has been developed by Carnegie Mellon universities. And that is the another target that we are keeping in coming days. And recently we got some project from project. It is basically the integration of UGV and unmanned ground vehicle. The idea is to collaboratively work between the unmanned ground vehicle and UGV, and this is the proposed project, and it's yet to be implemented, and hope to give this in coming days. And second thing that we are trying to do some kind of activities called artificial intelligence engine for hazardous tasks. So that is the another activity that we have started in recently. And now, as you know, that Swaraj tractor was a tractor developed by then the PM request from the PMO, and after that we have made a lot of progress in Sonalika and Krishi Shakti. And these are the activity that we do now. After that, now we are coming to the e-tractor part. And now in terms of the indigenous machine development, basically towards the Atmanirbhar Bharat, so we have developed, as you can see, some of them we could show to our DG sir, madam, and some of them are here, like starting with milling machine, smart foundry, then nano-less, there is micro machining facilities. We develop these systems, and some of this has been transferred technology to different company. And recently we are trying to work the special purpose machine, which is basically developed for this Bargachia cluster. So idea is to make their low-cost machining, low-cost manufacturing process for the surgical cluster. And these are some interventions that we doing for the Eastern Coalfield. And that also I'm little bit skip. We have demonstrated little details in there. And now another things what we are moving to next generation activity is called Certify as you build. We call it. So it is combination of the mechanistic model and sensorial monitorings. And we are trying to work for the digital twin process for additive manufacturing. And that is the next generation or next activity which will address most of the problem in coming days in terms of quality and in terms of quality. And these are the detailed framework. I'm not going into details. These are the background work that we'll be doing. Here AI is going to play very critical role. Now societal technology, as you know that societal technology, one of this important is the drain cleaning, and we have been successfully working on that. And in terms of technology transfer as well as commercializations. And also we are working for the solar cooking system, which is have environmental climate change technology for climate change. And this is the activity. It's not so it is a little bit older, but this is the intervention that we did for Northeast. So we have the centers, CSIR-CMERI Cedar Center at Mizoram, where in terms of that, one of the major problem was that the post-harvest produce, generally they don't fetch the good amount. So if you extract the moisture, by extracting moisture, generally we can sell life of the ginger can be increased. And by the way, as our estimate says, in terms of turmeric and ginger, we could increase this, add the value or their income around 30% was the income level that is increased due to this intervention by this post-harvest processing technology. And apart from that, we are doing some industrial services, lot of industrial services, and so it includes to all the sectors that has been mentioned here. And these are the companies that we have catered, and we want to add a few more companies and organizations in the coming days so that our visibility can be increased. This is the area that we are giving a lot of emphasis is the skill development. So we are coming out different training programs and few more training programs, and especially that MSME ESDP program is there, where basically to increase the entrepreneurship among the agriculture peoples or farmers. So that is one of the target that we are looking at. And these are the Jigyasa program that we have been working, and we have given a lot of emphasis in that because this is the area where CMERI can give a lot of inputs, especially to generating the curiosity among the students so that they can be attracted to work in the area of STEM. Now, in terms of CSIR, we have typically right now is 128 PhD students and scholars. And our target is to make little 250, and in coming 2027, we want to make it in 400. So that is one of the things because it generates a lot of new areas, new concept, new knowledge. So this is the only area where we can add the value in our research. Now I am coming to the little bit vision which I have given, that what are the aspiration statement that we want. The CSIR-CMERI should emerge as a key technology provider. Another robotic variance that we are thinking is that we are also having discussion with the BRDO, and one of the major tasks will be to autonomous unmanned operated vehicles. You can see this is cluster vehicle, one of the ultimate machines considered to be in this project right now, and is developed by Columbia University and USA. And we want to integrate such activity here, and it will help in because especially in the area where we have less access. Your human casualty will be less, and many aspects we can strategically position our defense force by incorporating some vehicles in operation in forms. And second part, we are thinking that we should have big dent in the area of humanoid diving robots. Then underwater robots should have this kind of interventions we are thinking of, and hopefully the particular team will work in this direction. And until unless we make this our flagship projects, our visibility will not be increased. So one of the things that in 4 areas we have to consolidate our manpower and achieve visible things. It should improve the brand as well as should visibility. And of course, these are the roadmaps that we are planning to do very quickly for the 6 years, and that's all from my side. Thank you, and thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the detailed insight. Before I invite our guest of honor to say a few words, I would have to introduce her formally to the audience. I know Dr. Suman Mishra needs no introduction here, but it is customary. Dr. Mrs. Suman Mishra, currently the Director of CSIR Central Glass and Ceramic Research Institute, Kolkata, since Jan 2021, has also served as Director of CSIR Central Mechanical Engineering Research Institute, Durgapur, as an additional charge for 11 months. Dr. Mishra did her PhD in Material Science at IIT Kharagpur and is a gold medalist in her master's degree in physics at Raj University. Dr. Mishra has contributed very significantly to the understanding of mechanisms and the development of advanced ceramics and their coatings, high temperature materials and composite hard and tough coatings, and corrosion and wear protection coatings for different industrial applications. Besides her basic and applied research, she has carried out projects for leading industries such as Boeing USA, Tata Steel, Aditya Birla S&T Group, and has joined patents. 2 of the technologies have been transferred. She has an impressive career with 15 patents, more than 118 SCI publications, and chapters in 7 books. Her excellence has fetched several coveted awards, including NASI Fellow, Metallurgist of the Year Award, Vasvik Award, MRSI Medal, Raman Fellowship, CSIR Young Scientist in Engineering Sciences. She has served as the Dean and Associate Dean for the Engineering Sciences in ACSIR for more than 10 years. Dr. Suman Kumari Mishra.
Very good morning to all of you, and once again, happy Foundation Day to all of you. I wish this institute always grow and grow. That is the only thing we have to. With this, I am very much thankful that I am here. Dr. Kalai Selvi, DG CSIR, I am very much thankful that because this was a transition period between me and Dr. Murmu. And you agreed before that you will be, and you kept that word. And this is a very good thing that Dr. Guru is starting his first Foundation Day celebration as a director with none other than the DCSIR is present. And it is not because it is only, see, when the family, the first, when when parents are there, children always feel good. And as a position wise, I am at least added to you, but the presence of the parents as a position wise, you are like parents and you are looking after us. We are thankful to you, not only as a CSIR-CMERI, I am telling you, but as a director CGCRI. So thank you for that. Dr. Murmu, thank you for calling me as a guest of honor. And my friends and colleagues, just few things. I will not take much time. I know everybody is waiting for Dr. Kalai Selvi to hear it, and she is. But I would like to say that this institute has a journey of. This is a 66th Foundation Day, and it started from under the leadership of Mr. C. Kadambe, right? C.D. Kadambe, if I remember correctly. It's a C.D. Kadambe, and it has come to Dr. Murmu. So it's a 66 years of journey from there, and it has always grown. The main, it was incepted by CSIR with the motto, with the goal that CMERI will be providing mechanical engineering solutions and such kind of a prototypes which will help the industry. That was the motto. With that, this lab was established. I am very happy that this lab has served that purpose. We know that CSIR probably, to my knowledge, this is the first lab that tractor is the first technology which is taught a lot in each forum, and we all CSIR people take pride in it. So this is that way it served. In 75 itself it gave Sonalika another tractor. So this is a congratulations to CMERI and those people at that time who worked in and filled the mandate of this lab, and gradually it is growing. So as a director for the 11 months, I found one thing. Before I was not knowing CMERI much in terms of its work, but I found that such a huge capability is here, and you are such a discipline you have that mechanical engineering is required, be it whatever field somebody may be working. If they want to even little bit want to get a higher level of a scale up, be it a material scientist, be it is aerospace, or you are electrical engineering, you are a bioengineering, whatever, wherever you are, you need mechanical, and you have a lot role to play. Still I feel that among CSIR labs, we don't have that much of interactions with CMERI. It must be increased, and this I would like to also tell Dr. Kalai Selvi that this somewhere we have to enhance. There so that many things can be developed inside instead of going to outside vendor and all. They can be a very good partners working, developing things. And other thing which I would like to say that while we are progressing in our mechanical engineering research and technology development pursuits, there are many advanced problems, there are many problems needs to be solved. Already Dr. Guru has presented a very good program he is planning to. I really appreciate and I felt very good. At the same time, one thing I found that he wants to increase the PhD from current strength of 130 to right now 200 and then wants to go to double the number of it. This is very good if you are able to do. Reason is that in engineering discipline, high skill manpower who is having PhD is very scarce in the country. And but for any high level enhancement we are talking of, it has to be developed within India and with the thought process. Copying anyone can. Copying anyone. But if you want to give your really indigenous product, how to design those things, then you need a little who has a better understanding of the each process and design together simultaneously. Probably, I believe that PhD people should be able to do better one. So this is a very, very good move that you are thinking in that line. And also, if you are able to get so many engineering students, particularly mechanical, because they will be going here, there too much. Mechanical engineering is a highly demand core mechanical engineering department. In terms of only a few problems which I would like to highlight today to all of you researchers, young researchers, and particularly and also to the higher research, there are many problems which needs to be solved. You know better than me, I am not a mechanical engineer. For example, people are here working on gas turbine. And also during when we were going, it was projected that we are trying to develop a single crystal turbine blade by additive manufacturing. Remember, when we are doing this, it's a very good thing which you are thinking of that, but why we need single crystal? Why you have to reduce the grain boundary. Creep is the main reason to any blade gets failure. That is the main reason of it. So grain boundary has to be decreased. When we are talking of additive manufacturing, and if we are going by a powder metallurgy route, and such problems will be much more. So how you will, single crystal when we are growing, normally if we are going additive manufacturing of metal, they are non-equilibrium processing, and cooling rate is the crux of any single crystal development. So how will you manage, these are the challenge. How will you manage those thermal things so that cooling is very, very at slow rate? Non-equilibrium processing, your cooling and heating is not in your hand. So accordingly you have to put those things. But if we are able to develop, we will be leading in two ways, because conventional way, single crystal blades have been fabricated already abroad, people are using, and it's a very mature technology. Remember, these are the technologies where venturing into is very challenging and we have to buy. So these also you have to take in your account how will we will manage the cooling effect and also other related effects so that grain boundaries are as minimum and they are textured at least, which is additive manufacturing may have a little. So those issues you must understand properly, but this is required. That's a nutshell. Like this, if we Industry 5.0 is told, we have to go into that. There the interdisciplinary artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, data analytics has to come along with the manufacturing, whoever is making whatever component. Again, I will give one example of turbine blade, because actually I understand better aero engine, frankly. That's why this is coming more into me. See, when the blades are rotating, there are different presses within the engine. And there's suppose steam, even other kind of a turbine, different steam, whatever way they're rotating, each place pressures are very much required. That can be done. So if we can put suitable sensor, non-embedded, but we can see that what is the change in the pressure or somewhere, so that you can design far, far better way the aero engines. And this is what 5.0 also demands, that data science, if you have a very good data about it, how the pressures at different places it is changing, accordingly, while designing, or if you are tweaking the parameters of your operation, you have to understand how we can do this so that those effects will not be. So if some place is more stressed, how we can reduce while making those blades, those places should be less stressed. So those data are probably, when it is rotating inline, are not available. So those data, if we can do this, AI and machine learning should be able to do that. One another example, I feel this was just coming into my mind. Today everybody is talking of EV car. You know that problems are there in EV car where mileage is less right now. This is not only the, it's not only the battery efficiency, thermal management, which anyway we all are doing at CMERI is also doing. I know Dr. Murmu's group is doing that. But can we think somehow, this is to all, particularly I say that who are doing work, or any one of you, this is coming to my mind, if in the there itself, due to EV, somewhere where we have electrical energy is going, and that can be tapped in such a way that this can be also recycled, those energies, or the thermal energy can be recycled so that battery gets again charged. So that dependence outside will be as less it is. Can we think of this? This is just came to me. Otherwise, this is one of the drawback of us, that everywhere when we go, we have to wait at least 2 years, 2 hours or 3 hours, then only it gets charged, which is not there in the petrol. You can go to a station, you can get in 2 minutes, 3 minutes petrol, and you couldn't go ahead. So these are some challenges I feel that is important. You people have to judge whether it is important or not. Similarly, a lot of problems can be worked out. While this lab is very good in robotics, their implementations have come in some of the applications, say UAV, they have shown at NIoT few years back. But I feel that nano-robotics must come in this lab somehow, which is required. It is not only the bigger vessel, but remember, world is moving towards the miniaturization. So suppose in the blood or even in the medicine devices, you need a very nano robots, which can do many kind of things, and it will be required for medicine, health, but this area, CMERI is not working. I have urged before also. Now also I want to tell you, please start. Particularly young people start. This is a new and challenging area. India will need, everybody will need, because we want to become a very good and a health person. We should be able to give a good service to the health service. Similarly, in many places, all big instruments are going to be small. So please go that side. Start working. Maybe down the line in 10 years, it will be a very good area, and you will be talking, because world is going towards. Otherwise, we will be left behind. This I feel that you should do, and there are many like this. I can give examples where we must, cutting, machining is another area which is, you are the pioneer of it. Advanced machining is right now not much here, which we call, say, laser cutting, laser grinding, and all those things. That probably people have to learn. It's not only using the instrument, it's learning how and where we can use and how precise we can do, because all mechanical engineers will be requiring the proper machining of any material. With these few words, I would like to stop here. But I have a lot of hope. I know there is each one of you want to work. There is no doubt in it, which I have seen in each one of you. I have interacted many individually to all of you, and you work in team. That's the biggest thing. So please look into this lab. If you are good, no one can stop CMERI to grow much more. And one last thing, wherever you go, talk CMERI, eat CMERI, think CMERI, sleep with CMERI. Tell others, these are the things we have the capability. It is little less, which is people. This is, each one of us have a duty to tell tell the right thing, never overclaim, but at the same time, no claim is also a, nowadays you can't survive without that. People should know this is our capability. With this, thank you. Once again, happy Foundation Day to all of you. Thanks to all. Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. With the expectations and challenges that you put forth, I believe it will give us a thrust forward. Thank you again. It is now time for the much-awaited speech from our chief guest, and I have been bestowed with the responsibility of introducing her with the audience. So to begin with,
Namaskar, Vanakkam, and pleasant morning to each and every one of you. First of all, wish you all a very, very happy Foundation Day, 66th Foundation Day. I should place on record my sincere thanks and appreciations first to Dr. Suman Kumari Mishra, because she only first invited me for the Foundation Day. And she is, I think, capable of giving me a lot of surprises, wherein she gave with the surprise of the new director for CMER also, who is none other than our own good friend, who is Dr. Murmu. So friends, once upon a time, I think before I touch upon, I wish to place on record and very, very sincerely appreciate the one who is doing Master of Ceremony. I don't know her name, what is it? Sumana Majumdar. Actually, Suman was telling that she is AO. I think I should really, really congratulate you, because never I have seen AO doing MC, and she's talking science, she's talking about the laboratories, and I think you are an amazing person. Thank you. I think I really appreciate you. I think for the past 3 days, I'm getting a lot of new flavors in CSIR. Because first time I just saw one director suddenly became a comparer. When I was in IITR just 2 days back, because it was, I was just called to inaugurate a program called WORM FOST, that is Women in Academia, Research and Management of Food Safety and Toxicology. They called it as WORM FOST. It was a very dedicated, exclusive program for women in science, women in academia, women in innovation. So I was asked to inaugurate that one, so I was there. So what Bhaskar did was, the director of IITR, Dr. Bhaskar Narayanan, he made all 5 ladies to just decorate the stage, and he said that today is the day that we are going to celebrate all women, and therefore I won't even sit on the dais, and even though I'm a director, I'm just going to take the pleasant privilege of doing Master of Ceremony today. And to my surprise, he did it so wonderfully. Then I told him the secret also. Before I took charge as director of Central Electrochemical Research Institute, in my institute in Sikri, all the 22 years, I was the one who used to do Master of Ceremony. So sometimes you may also become the director, but she's AO. Now the thing is, the moment I became the director, Sikri had one difficulty, that then who else will be doing the Master of Ceremony from now onwards? So then I was telling that still I can do. Then they said, ma'am, it won't be looking nice. Then I told Bhaskar on the other day. So now I realize that directors, when doing Master of Ceremony, is also looking so amazing, because it was done for a very special day. So that was one different face of CSIR, or flavor of CSIR, that was given by IITR, a director doing Master of Ceremony, and CMERI is giving me another great flavor, that a person from administrative background can also do scientific Master of Ceremony. Thank you so much for giving all these surprises. And this is how, when you give this kind of a surprise, then now my energy level goes up, my confidence goes up. At the same time, you have a problem, my expectations will also go up. That is the thing. So now coming to CMERI, I think, can I just request all of you to come and get seated here? There are a number of seats here. How long you will be standing? I'm a person who will be talking at least for 20-25 minutes. So friends, CMERI, this is my first visit, my first physical visit, and I just had the darshan of CMERI maybe when I was just crossing. I did not even see the building, but I was told that, ma'am, this is where CMERI is there, when I was taking a travel from Kolkata to Simfer Dhanbad. So that much was the kind of a thing that I had for location-wise CMERI. Then coming to its scientific fragrance, again, I should thank Dr. Harish Hirani, because many a times I used to talk with Dr. Harish Hirani. He used to share with me a lot of positivities of CSIR-CMERI. So from that time onwards, I used to admire CMERI with a kind of a very special feeling. And luckily, I was also there in your RC. Even though I was not acting so strong in your RC, but from a distance, many a times we can admire a person or an organization or a leader or even nature from a distance. So like from a distance, I used to always admire the way CMERI is doing its contributions. And without even disappointing me for 0.001%, when I came here, you really are giving me lot of confidence and lot of surprises. So I should really appreciate each and every one of you. CMERI, I just came with one kind of expectation. I'm just telling from the bottom of my heart, it is more than what I expected. Meaning is, you have lot of manpower, you have more than enough infrastructure, and you have lot of potential thinking ability also, and your roadmap is really very good. The way in which you are traveling is also very good, and therefore I'm sure that you will help CSIR in a big way than any other labs. I will tell you why you can do things in a much bigger way, because Dr. Suman also touched upon that point. Whatever it may be the area of engineering, whether it is electrical or electronics or computers or the robotics or whatever you called or IT, I think everywhere, even for that matter civil engineering, I think without mechanical engineering, all these dots could not be connected for their perfect shape. Therefore, your presence is critically important. It is critically also, I would say, challenging. So if you are doing your duty in a better way, I think the product will come with a different kind of a flavor. And if your contribution is not that level, I think the product will assume only a substandard. Therefore, when a product is getting celebrated, when it is getting its, I would say, accolades, I think one should definitely appreciate that the mechanical engineering part which is associated with that product is done very perfectly. So that is where you are very important. Friends, once I was just talking with one of my good friends from another PSU. So he just made me to understand, once upon a time there were only two branches of engineering. One is civil engineering, the other one is military engineering. So only after that, this military engineering got itself diversified into maybe electrical, electronics. Then also, even now, everyone, apart from mechanical engineers, even all other engineers, we call them as converted engineers. So all these converted engineers will also accept wholeheartedly that mechanical engineering is the core subject. Meaning is your strength and your capabilities and your participation in every science and technology is very important, and that is where I think we are ready to celebrate the institute, the mechanical engineers of this institute, and therefore you should really give us more and more opportunities in the coming days to celebrate each and every one of you. And friends, when I just had a kind of a tour inside this lab, I think Murmu very tactitiously, he just took me first to the very important, societally important, that is called solid waste management, municipal solid waste management. He took me to the place and I was totally impressed by the way the developments have taken place. And now I'm telling you, I already told him, now I'll find an opportunity, I'll create an occasion wherein I'll call all the lab directors to come to CMERI and to see that how best each and every portion of the solid waste is getting managed by you, and how best it is really getting its value addition at different areas. And I think I'm going to make this as a role model project. So either the labs can pay something and they can get the similar kind of the arrangement in every lab, because I just wanted to have the same setup in every laboratory, because now we are talking about everything that is clean city, smart city, clean energy, everything we are talking about. But wherever we can immediately execute certain things, I think we should be the first one to do. That's why I was just asking for how much does it cost. So the amount is, I think it's acceptable and it is admissible also. And therefore, this is high time that I can try my level best to announce, maybe in next 1 or 2 years, in every CSIR laboratory, every CSIR colony, residential colony will have this kind of a system, by means of which we can claim that every colony is a green campus and a green colony. So you should really help me in a major way. The team should help me in a major way, that how best we can implement it across all CSIR labs, especially for the colonies. Because the moment we create this as a model, we can announce that, yes, CSIR has come up with a kind of a green colony concept. Then I think the message will go, every other organization will also start following it up. One is either they can follow our recipe or they can come up with their own arrangements also. But my aim is not to make money out of it, but whatever small justice we can do to the environment, we have to start from here. Because we are now living in one particular era where many things are very, very essentially required, critically required, of which one is cleaner and greener environment. Therefore, instead of talking in terms of I'll come up with A, I'll come up with B, I'll come up with C, I think this is the best way by means of which we can adopt a model. I call it as a model. So you adopt this model, then you just get it spread across all the CSIR laboratories. Then you call that CSIR on the whole can make an announcement that at least all our residential areas are meant for clean energy or green energy. So this is one. And second thing is also this, very, very important thing. 2 days back, when I was in IITR, I was just sharing the stage with 2 Padma Shri awardees. 2 Padma Shri awardees. One is around 45 years and the other one was 27 years. And the name was Padma Shri Usha. She was she's a scavenger basically. She was a scavenger and she has been awarded Padma Shri only for the kind of contribution that he has done from that particular community, and by way of doing it in a different way, now she is getting celebrated for a number of reasons. If at all you want to know more about her, please Google and find out. She was actually honored by IITR on the other day. And at that time, I had some 10-15 minutes to talk with her. And she expressed all her feelings. One thing touched me very, very deeply. He said just because she was doing all these kinds of cleaning and scavenging work, even the shadow of a person who is doing that, that was not tolerated by other people. And many a times they were beaten up. Their maybe elderly people and their ancestors were beaten up for just going so close to the other people. So that much pain she has undergone. She got married at the age of 10 and she delivered the first baby at the age of 15. And now her daughter was also sitting in front of her. Her daughter is now doing MA Political Science, and she just announced on the stage that just because I got married at the age of 10, now I know the pains of all these things, but I will not allow my daughter to just have any kind of an hindrance. Whenever she wants to get married, she will do that. So this is how now she has been given a lot of education. And it is just because the kind of, I would say, difficulties that were faced by human at that point of time. But now you are coming up with a kind of a mechanical system, and now it is taking care of all the pains, I think you are value adding them not only in terms of sophistication, but also their societal recognition. So I think you are bringing in some kind of a societal recognition to your own human being, a portion of your own people. I think that is where I want to really give a big salute to all the real services that you are doing to the society. Because this is where you have to touch the lives of people. Many a times we say CSIR is meant to touch the lives of the people. In what way you are touching the life? This is the way you should touch the life of the people. And coming to other areas, and I think Murmu and your entire team, you are having a lot of very, very attractive programs. Whether it is unmanned aerial vehicle, you have something. Whether it is unmanned ground vehicle also you have. And Murmu, I was really looking at you with a lot of surprise and a lot of question marks. I'm finding it very difficult to make human-to-human collaboration, but you are aiming for human and robotic collaboration. I really appreciate your confidence. But I think science and technology will make many things to happen, and I look forward that kind of a collaboration, very fruitful collaboration. So far, I used to say that have a fruitful collaboration only to human. I think hereafter I should talk to even robots also, have a fruitful collaboration with human. I think you have nicely touched upon that. And second thing you said, robotic warrior. I think it's very, I think another very, very bold attempt and very, very required attempt also. And when you said that you are getting the maybe base ready for Industry 5.0, wherein he just told that this robot can really identify and differentiate between a human as well as a robot, and accordingly it can do the sensing also. I think you are creating a very great interface, and this interface will take you to greater heights in terms of Industry 5.0. And also I met with an amazing person. I think he is sitting here. Because of the light I'm not able to see very properly. He just started telling me the very important points of robotics also. I just casually asked him, so are we going to have a human robotic war? I think he only said, no, it's a handshaking between human and robots. And he started elaborating how this area of robotics is coming up. Then I realized CMERI is having not only the experimental talents, but also you have a very beautiful narrating talents also. And therefore, I motivated him to come up with the scientific article that he should write and send to Scientific Reporter. Also, I told him that next month in Scientific Reporter, I will expect his article. So this is how, no, what I'm telling is you people should get spotted for your talents. Not only in the area of research, but also in the technology dissemination and for the innovation also. I think there were so many areas in which you are coming up with innovation. And again, somebody was showing me how best the total area which was originally or which is originally occupied by all batteries is now reduced, and you are now trying to have some space for capacitors within the same space, and you are trying to prove the hybrid energy storage systems also. Dr. Suman was touching upon one very important point. She said that when you are moving like e-mobility, can you just convert any other form of energy, thermal energy or mechanical energy? Once again, can you just make it as maybe electrical energy or electrochemical energy, by means of which can you make it as a recycling thing? I think right now we have some kind of a solution that we call it as, instead of charging, there is another option called swapping options. So now we have fuel stations across the highway. I think in future we will not be having fuel stations. If at all we are moving 100% to e-mobility, definitely we will be having either charging stations or swapping stations. If at all we have charging stations, if at all we have charging stations alone, I think that time the requirement is, I'm telling you now itself, as she rightly pointed out, by the time you require to fill that petrol tank or diesel tank, same time should be the charging time also. I used to ask all my research scholars, let's assume when you are traveling in the highway road, hereafter you will not see no boards that next fuel station 1.2 kilometers. On the other hand, you will have next charging station 1.2 kilometers away. So the moment you reach the charging station, you can just leave your car. You can just ask the other person, or you can put it on charging, how long you will wait. Can you wait for 20 minutes? The students will say, no way. Can you wait for 15 minutes? No way. Therefore, how many minutes you can wait? By the time I finish my coffee, my charging should be ready. Meaning is, the charging time should be somewhere between 7 to 10 minutes. Meaning is, 10 minutes is the ideal time of charging if at all you are going for a charging station. Therefore, are we coming up with any kind of a technology for that kind of fast charging batteries? So I think that is where you can really think about. That is one. And the second one is, as I told you, it's a swapping station. Swapping station is nothing but you will just go to the swapping area, meaning is by the time you are taking coffee or tea, you need not put your car or your battery for charging. Rather, what you can do is, you can hand over the 20% charge holding battery to the person and you can get a 100% filled one. This is something like we are swapping now gas cylinders. So in the same way, you can do battery swapping also. So in future, actually I was also there in the policy making of National Mission for Electric Mobility. So there we had series of discussions on interoperability also. So at that time we just came up with a kind of a recommendation that maybe as the first step, country like India can think about the combination of both charging stations and swapping stations, so that if at all somebody is having a technology, if at all a manufacturing company is coming up in India in the near future with a kind of a battery that can really charge within 10 to 15 minutes. So those who are preferring fast charging, they can use charging options. Those who do not have any kind of a tolerance, even for 10 minutes, they can just give it and get another thing by means of swapping stations. So I think these are the areas in which you have to really work on. And another important roadmap that you showed, hydrogen-powered tractor he showed. As rightly mentioned by Suman, I think many a times CSIR celebrated CMERI in every public forum, both in national as well as international arena, by way of quoting that India's tractor technology is CMERI's tractor technology. It is I would say, the success story by means of which CMERI will be ever remembered in the history of CSIR. Because the first tractor was introduced from CSIR, and the country is also celebrating. And I will normally say India's memory is CSIR's memory, India's technology in leather technology is CSIR technology, India's electrochemistry is CSIR's electrochemistry, India's tractor is CSIR's tractor. But then now he is trying to give a new dimension of hydrogen-powered, maybe e-tractor he's talking about. Again, I think you have lot of possibilities to collaborate with all the other labs, because even before the nation announced hydrogen mission, which is called National Hydrogen Mission, which was very recently launched by the Honorable Prime Minister, we from CSIR, we already announced and we declared our CSIR hydrogen mission, and we started working in that. I think you are a very active participant in that CSIR hydrogen mission also, and therefore whatever hydrogen-based fuel cells related activities are coming up as deliverables, I think you should just translate it exactly in the way it is finding its application to your tractors. Because this is how you can strengthen all the areas, because waste to wealth, now I identified CMERI can really play a very important role. Similarly, in the hydrogen mission, now you can find a very important role. Another interesting question I asked Murmu when I was just taking the tour. So he just showed that in, what is that, Punjab, what is that, Jalandhar maybe? Ludhiana. Your Ludhiana center, you are having some kind of a plant wherein you can convert any kind of, whether it is Jetroba or any kind of a bio raw material into a kind of a diesel. That's what you were talking about, biodiesel. And next photo that was shown to me was, again it is something related to again diesel. Then I asked him, can you just use the same biodiesel? I think next one was biodiesel operated tractor. So I just asked him a simple question. Can you start with Jetropa, get the biodiesel? Can you use the biodiesel as such to your tractor? So this is what I asked him the question. Then he said, I think we have to talk to IIP because they are working in a big way with respect to the purification or making it as the usable biodiesel. Friends, this is how you have to think. Even though you are doing something at your level, as an individual researcher, as a team researcher, as a CMERI researcher, how best you can get yourself connected with other labs, whether it is IIP or CGCRI or CSIR-CMERI or CLRI, whatever way you can really extend your arms for any kind of collaboration, please do it and help CSIR to come up with a kind of complementary or I would say synergized capabilities. Many a times I see that every lab, I won't say not all the 37 labs, few labs are doing some kind of a research. Everybody is starting from the same point and everybody is reaching a different level. Maybe one lab will have TRL2, the other lab will have TRL3 and another lab will be having between 3 and 4. But everybody will be starting at the same point. Instead, what you can do is, if at all somebody has already gone up to 3.5, you start thinking from 3.5. Friends, when all these things will happen, I will tell you, this can be made possible by headquarters. And I'm trying my level best to push headquarters in such a way that identify the talents from each and every lab in terms of their TRL. If at all one lab in one area is having its capabilities up to TRL 5, then let us not encourage another lab to do it from TRL 1 or 2. So let the lab come and sit on the shoulders of this lab so that you can reduce the time that you are going to work from the scratches. So for this, I simply require nothing but your collaboration, your cooperation, and your involvement only. Some little tolerance, some here and there, some kind of a give and take, because end of the day, we are all CSIR family. Whatever we are getting also, we can and we have to celebrate it only as one family. And therefore, please make up your mind, wherever you are doing this kind of a work, please scout for other laboratories and identify the person who is really working in that field and find out with a kind of I would say without any kind of a bias, find out what is the TRL up to which he or she is ready. Then join hands, then try to make lot and many more kind of success as well as surprises to CSIR. The way your scientist G or your senior leaders are interacting with me, and the way you are getting your new director, I think I am really feeling so energized that CMERI will come up with a number of success stories in the coming days. Friends, I am a strong believer. I think you can also clap. You don't want to clap for CMERI? I am a strong believer. Whomsoever is really succeeding, it is not that only one person, which is applicable to me also. I always humbly say that I am standing before you just because so many people are behind me and the system has given this kind of a recognition. And now CMERI is so fortunate, your own person, Dr. Murmu, he is a homegrown guy, so he knows each and every brick and stones and sand of this particular institute. And he was living and he was only doing each and every, I would say, different dimensions of this institute is known to him. He is a great institutional memory. He knows the legacy of this institution. Therefore, having a known person on the top, having a known person as your leader, I think now your readiness to work, readiness to put in more hard work, it should be doubled or tripled. Will you do that? You can say yes. Yes. Okay. Thank you. No, what I expect is, instead of thinking about whether I will be considered, whether I will be recognized, whether director will listen to me, whether DG will listen to me, I'm just giving you one kind of a blank assurance. Murmu is such a nice person because he has experienced this laboratory at different levels, like the way I experienced CSIR at different levels. Whatever you say, very empathetically, he can very easily understand. Whether it is a merit or your problem or your challenge or your critical requirements, or necessities or funding options, whatever it may be, Murmu is the right person and he can very easily understand, because till last month, he was also sitting on the other side of the table and he was also talking like you only. So now he is sitting on the other side of the table, therefore he can very easily understand, and he can very easily understand your mind voice also. So that is where, the moment you enter into his room, he can very easily catch that A is coming to me for B purpose. So that is the strength, and therefore please make use of that strength. And again, coming to the topmost leadership, I already told you, I have experienced CSIR at every level, starting career, meaning is I had my entry as a starting level scientist, therefore I knew CSIR as a scientist, as a mid-career leader, as a leader of the laboratory, now as a leader of the organization. Therefore, whatever language you talk with me, you talk with me through him, it could be very, very easily understood. I don't require any sensor in between, because you people are now working with a number of sensors. So I don't require any kind of a specially human-made or robotic sensor, or no, I don't require any kind of a sensor. Very easily I can understand, either from the facial expression, or from the way the mail is written, or from the way you talk to me, or from the way it is projected to me. So I can very easily understand what is it that you are expecting from CSIR. What is it that you are expecting from Kalaiselvi as DG? So all these things, they could be very much minimized. Therefore, don't spend time in doing all these things. Straight away make Murmu to understand what is it that you want to do, and just start working in that. Why? Because friends, we are now running with a different kind of a speed, and we are expected to run with a different kind of a speed. I do not know how many of you are aware and how many of you listened to my earlier talk, wherein I made it very, very clear. The Honorable Prime Minister in the society meeting, he has given me a minimum of 33 takeaway points. I'm truly, truly telling you that those 33 points are making me to have sleepless nights, but in a very positive way. But what I can do is, Kalaiselvi cannot address all the 33 points. The thing is, I will just make all those points to percolate in different forms. Sometimes they may reach you as challenge. Sometimes they may reach you as a project. Sometimes that may reach you as an advisory or a suggestion. Sometimes that may ask you to just work with A, B, C and form a connect. And therefore you should really understand, whenever you are getting some kind of an advisory or a suggestion from Murmu, it is not Murmu's idea alone. Of course, Murmu's idea will also be there, but also it has the suggestion from the DG and also from the Honorable Prime Minister of the country. And friends, when I was just talking to Murmu was telling this airport is a very small airport, and here in Durgapur, we have a lot of respect, madam. He was telling with a lot of happiness. Friends, that is the practical reality. Yesterday, I just made a mention in CGCRA also. Many a times, we don't realize, just by being the CSIR employee, how much advantages, how much respect that we get in the society. Please spend half a minute every day and think about. The moment you become the CSIR employee, your salary, your position, and your complete service, it is assured. Then every month you need not worry about anything and everything for your domestic requirement. Then you will be given some residence within the colony. Therefore you need not worry about your way to keep the family. Will I get a rental house? All these things are stopped. Then you are getting travel allowance. You need not worry about that point also. Definitely your children will be given admission in the Kendriya Vidyalaya. Therefore, the student education is also taken care. Medical expenses are also taken care. Then when you are reaching the age of 60, definitely you will be superannuating. Even after superannuation, medical expenses are taken care. So end to end, our lifetime requirements, both as an individual and as a family person, and the complete components, every component of the family is getting fulfilled by CSIR, and therefore to what level and to what extent each and every one of us should be grateful to CSIR. Have you ever thought about it in this particular way? Many a times we cry for certain things, we wait for some time, and finally things are given to us, then we celebrate, hey, I got it at the end of the day, we celebrate. Same thing, if at all you are not at all asking for anything, but somebody is coming and going on giving you A, B, they say you are eligible. Sometimes I hate the word also, eligibility class. They say you are eligible for A, you are eligible for B, you are eligible for C. By enjoying all the eligible facilities, we are supposed to give something back to the system. What is it that is expected? Which is nothing but our science, our technology, and our innovation. It's very, very simple, friends. I told you an example of a girl who was an athlete. I think I talked about only the scavenger. The other one, she is a 20-year-old girl. She is an athlete. She was going on giving a list of awards she got within a period of maybe 10-15 years. And every year she was winning a minimum of 3 awards. At the end of that one, she became the Bodhi tree, I would say. I also really got some kind of a new knowledge, which is nothing but we are really living in the comfort zone. For our entire lifetime, the moment you get one PhD degree, I think that is more than sufficient for us. Every year we need not do anything other than filling up the APAR and doing some work at the laboratory. But for athletes, but for achievers, but for the great outstanding personalities, every year is important, every day is important, every moment is also important. One day I was just talking to one of my police friend. That time he said, "Madam, our life is really a hell of time." I said, why are you having all these kinds of frustration? He just told me one quotable quote. "Ma'am, for a terrorist, if at all he wins only once in a day, whether he is a terrorist or a robber or a thief or whatever, it is enough if he wins in his life only one time. That one time success will take care of his entire lifetime requirements. But for a policeman, every day should be a winning day. Every day should be a winning day. Every day you should score 100 marks. The moment you really slip some marks, you are prone to get punishments. But are we having that kind of challenges? Are we having those kind of difficulties? No, we don't have all these things for our domestic lifestyle. Similarly, if you just want to call yourself as an outstanding person, like the way I just gave you an example, there is no threat that every year you have to beat your own track. No, friends. How many of us are beating our own tracks every year? So last year I did only one technology. This year I have to do 2 technologies or 3 technologies. Who is setting up the bar? Who is insisting you? Just because nobody is insisting you, just because nobody is telling you that you should do that, can we just take it for granted? No. So if at all this kind of a taken for granted mentality was there in the system earlier, you and I cannot celebrate this 66th Foundation Day with these many new ideas and technology developments. Therefore, friends, let us talk to ourselves. Let us talk to our friends. And if you are a senior, please talk to your juniors every time. And if you are an entry-level scientist, please make your next generation leaders like students, research scholars, and project assistants. All of them should be given this kind of a suggestion or advisory, or I would say tips also, that we are really, really gifted. Whatever life we are leading is a heavenly life. Everyone should think that this lab is my paradise. This lab is my heaven. Why? Because whether you want it or not, things are given to you. And therefore, please feel proud that you are a CSIR family person, and knowingly or unknowingly, by choice or by, I would say, by force, you have chosen this institute, but which is the real paradise. And therefore, friends, before I conclude my talk, once again, from the bottom of my heart, I'm really congratulating each and every one of you for the kind of very beautifully arranged achievements that was shown to me by your director. And I congratulate each and every one of you. Please clap your hands for yourself. So now you can come up with a new target. 66 successful years we have completed. So when an organization is completing 66 years, now the expectation will be more. So now you start thinking, what is it that I can give to CMERI? What is it that I can give to CSIR? What is it that through CSIR and CMERI, I can contribute to the nation as well as to the globe? So for a country like India, which is a developing country today, to become a developed country in the near future, I think he has come up with a 6-year plan. I just saw it is very, very amazing. If at all you just go with that kind of a plan, with here and there some value additions, wherein you will get advisory and suggestions from headquarters, I think this lab is going to really rock CSIR in the coming days. And my best wishes are there for each and every one of you. Thank you so very much. Have great times ahead.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The positive energy that has been just infused by the electrifying speech of yours is beyond my power of expression. I can only thank you, ma'am. It's time now to felicitate our guests, and I would request our director to kindly present a small token of appreciation to our chief guest, Dr. Kalai Selvi. Ma'am, this is just a mark of respect and gratitude. Thank you, ma'am, for accepting. Thank you, sir. I would request once again to present a small token of appreciation to our guest of honor, Dr. Suman Kumari Mishra. Thank you all. It's time now to acknowledge the efforts of all those without whose active participation this program wouldn't have been possible. And to do the honor, I would request Dr. Bishwajit Rooj, Chairperson, Organizing Committee, 66th Foundation Day Celebration, CSIR-CMERI, to propose the vote of thanks, please.
Good afternoon to all of you. Our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. N. Kalai Selvi, Director General of CSIR and Secretary, DSIR, Government of India. Our Guest of Honor, Dr. Suman Kumari Mishra, Director, CSIR-CMERI, Kolkata, and our Institute Director, Dr. N.C. Mormo. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my proud privilege to offer vote of thanks in this occasion, that is 66th CSIR-CMERI Foundation Day Celebration 2023. First of all, I would like to offer my sincere and heartfelt thanks to our chief guest, Dr. N. Kalai Selvi. In spite of her busy schedule, she has accepted our invitation and addressed her CSIR-CMERI Foundation Day lecture. Thank you, madam. I am very much thankful to our guest of honor, Dr. Suman Kumari Mishra, for giving her lecture in this occasion. Thank you, madam. I would also offer my sincere thanks to our Institute Director, Dr. N.C. Murmu, for his constant support and guidance to make this program a grand success. Thank you, sir. Thanks to our core committee and subcommittee members constituted for this purpose, staff members, students, and the people who were directly or indirectly associated in this program, including press and media people. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. With this, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our today's ceremony. I would now request all of you to kindly rise for the national anthem.
भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you. Thank you all for being here with us. Have a great day ahead.